Hello and welcome. This is Star Forward Solutions. And what are we going to be talking about today? And we have a special guest. What is it that you're afraid of? Is it life insurance? Is that a bad word? Oh my goodness, we're going to be talking all about what it is that you're afraid of when it comes to those words. And welcome to our special guest.
Oh, thank you.
Hello.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And Vickie, thank you for showing up here today to talk about this very sensitive subject. And would you mind introducing your guest today?
Well, my guest is a colleague and friend. We've been working together for, I guess, how long, William? About maybe 8 months.
Oh,
Uh,
yes, close to a year now.
yeah, close to a year now. We met through a mutual friend, but we've been working together closely for about 8 months. And I thought I'd bring him because the two of us were talking about this subject matter. I said, I want you to come on the show with me, and so we can talk about it together and express ourselves with everybody else. But this is William Sparrow. He's a colleague of mine. I'm going to let him give you his a little, mini bio. We don't have a lot of time, William, so don't.
All right, well, I'm just gonna cut it real short. I'm not gonna have all the pictures like in the military and stuff like that. I'm just gonna say I was in the military.
And the fact that we do have that background, I think that's why we get along. So,
But
William,
you can't see my ranger tab. I got my ranger tab on my vest here. But anyway, I'm William Sparrow. I'm originally from Annapolis, Maryland. I'm not a Texan like Vickie is. I'm a transplant. But I went to the University of Toledo. I have a degree in biology, especially in genetics, and I also have an MBA in finance. But I was like Vickie in the military. I was an airborne ranger. Served 5 years. From that, I went into sales, did all types of sales positions, management of sales, strategic account managers, and then all of a sudden decided to do my own business. And now, to make it really short, I'm now the president of Family Legacy Insurance Agency, and I work with Vickie in the ERP program, helping teachers out with their retirement. But we do specialize in everyone else, just not teachers. We do everyone.
Yes. And we use a lot of different tools, and we talk about a lot of different things about leaving legacies and building your wealth and things like that. And one of the tools that we use is life insurance, and we just don't with different I guess people and different cultures or whatever. Life insurance is a bad word, and we were just discussing like, well, when people think of life insurance, they think of death, but today's life insurance is not the same as mom and pop's life insurance, and that's what we're going to discuss today. The fact that you need to look at life insurance in a different way. Do not be afraid of it, because it's not your enemy. It's actually a tool that banks use, universities use, in providing wealth and money for their organizations. So
Vickie, is there another word for it then other than life insurance?
well, it's an insurance it's an insurance product. It's life insurance.
I know, but
there are different types of life insurance as well. If that's what
if
you're
they
asking
called
for,
it something different, maybe people would,
but
know
we
what I
can't
mean?
get.
Well,
No.
some people use the term financial services. Some people do use that term in reference to life insurance, but that's kind of like a misnomer because we're not Series 6 or Series 7s agents that can actually do mutual funds and stock brokerage companies. We're not allowed to do that. A financial planner sometimes have those, or they just might be a Series 6 or a Series 7. We're not actually that. We can be if we want to, but that takes up a lot of time. And myself, I just really don't want to do that. I really stick to life insurance. But we can plan people's retirement. We can plan people's future. We can plan for grandchildren for they can have college funds. We do have some rights of saying, yes, we are financial services providers.
Well, we are financial service providers, and for us, we deal in life insurance as well as annuities. Okay, and a lot of different products, but our basic product is life insurance and annuities. And when it comes down, these are insurance products. Okay, so you can't get around the word life insurance. It's just people see life insurance in they view it as, like I said, back in the day, all it was to provide something for a family member to be able to be buried. If you want to look at it this way, it's like now they have what they call final expense policies and burial policies. Now those are the mom and pop type of insurance, but life insurance as a whole, because there's so many different types of life insurance, you have to look at the specific type. Okay, like your whole life insurance is mostly set up to provide a something to leave for family members to bury their loved ones, as well as maybe pay off debts or things like that. But your index products, your your ULs, universal, other permanent life products are used as tools to be able to plan your future, build your wealth, um, provide educational funding. You can just keep going on and on and on about what can be done with the different life insurance products. So you just have to know which ones are being used to provide give you your bank, so to speak, because uh, these products can provide you incredible wealth, savings, planning, and things like that for your future. And people just don't understand it. But that's why we're here, to basically provide that education, as well as sitting down with you and showing you how they work. And so
I want you to know that if you're watching this program live, you're more than welcome to ask questions right here on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube. Feel free to ask questions, and we'll bring it to both William and Vickie. And I just think it's an opportunity for you to get your specific questions answered. Now, I know you have a program that you're going to be offering us today, so let's dive into the nitty gritty. What's the first thing that you want to share with us that's going to change our mind about the words life insurance?
Well, the first thing I really want to talk about is really why people are, the number one, and we were just joking about it, but the number one reason why people are afraid of the word life insurance.
Yes, why are we afraid?
Why are we afraid of the word life insurance? And I think we touched on it, like, well, people think life insurance is all about death, and you would, like I just said, it's not all about death. So there are other reasons that people look at, they're afraid, or they don't want to talk about life insurance. One of them is, they think, well, especially if you approach someone that's young, they're in their 20s or, whatever, they're looking at, I'm healthy, I don't need any life insurance.
Well, that's one of your phobias, isn't it?
Yep, that's one of the phobias. Yeah, that's one of the phobias.
I'm young. I'm young. I'm not gonna die anytime soon.
Exactly.
But let me touch on that subject real, because I have a personal experience with that. I was 13 years old. My father and I were boxing in the living room, and I told him, I said, when you get back today, I'm gonna kick your butt. And he's like, yeah, I'll be waiting for you. He walked out the door. Guess what? He never walked back in.
Oh no.
He died at the age of 39.
Oh my goodness.
Heat exposure, which caused a heart attack, and he died on the scene. So those who think that life insurance, you're too young to not to die, I got news for you. I have a personal experience with that. I also have another experience. I was working with another insurance company in Austin, Texas, where a mother wanted to get insurance for her son, and he was riding a motorcycle. But the other phobia, I guess we'll get into early, is people always think, oh, we can do it tomorrow. We can wait on it. We're not there's no need right now. We can, come back in a month or so. Well, 2 weeks later, this young man ended up in the hospital in intensive care. And the mother called us and asked us if we can insure him. We told her there was no way possible we could insure him being in intensive care right now. He died a week later. So this is really, really important, and I don't think people take it as seriously as it should be taken, because the future is not guaranteed to anyone.
No.
Now, I've learned that firsthand.
Yeah.
And I think too many of us take life, I want to say, granted, and we expect, I get into bed, I'm gonna wake up the next day, and everything's gonna be fine.
But that's not the case.
That's not the case at all. Because because the one thing about insurance I can say, let's say you go to bed fine, next day you wake up with a stroke. According to what type of insurance policy you have, it can help stave off the finances that you're gonna have from your hospital, which is called long-term care, and it will help. The payments will automatically go to you. It can help pay off some of the hospital bills. It can help pay off the bills that's coming into the house, because somebody in that household who might have the stroke could be a financial provider for that family and can continue paying for everything while that person is sick. So, go ahead. I'm sorry, Vickie. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, the bottom line: life insurance is protection life insurance is protection for financial loss. I mean, when we sit here and so we're talking about that, I mean, that's kind of one of the number one reasons that you want to basically get insurance, is to protect yourself, whether it is health insurance, life insurance, whether the whole car insurance, what life insurance is for. I mean, insurance is for protection. Life insurance is to help in protecting financial loss. In other words, protecting your income, your family, and whatever. But it's for financial loss. So if all the things that William just said, you have a family member that might be the bread earner for the family, or even just partner in a family. If that person is no longer there anymore, you have a big hole to fill with, as far as their part of your financial income and for your family. And so why wouldn't you make sure you have life insurance on every member you have? Now, we just talked about I'm too young or whatever. It's not too young to insure children. To this day, we have, kids that are getting ill, have issues. And what's going to happen when a child is you're not saying terminally ill, but is ill? What is the mother going to do? That mom is going to be with that child. Okay.
Yes.
If that child has to go into the hospital, that mother is going to be with that child in the hospital. What
That's
happens when mom, in other words, the child really is sick? It happened to my pastor a couple of years ago. His child went into the hospital, that he was in the and they were at that hospital a day in and day night. Well, now we have a situation where mom can't work, or whoever is, it's usually the mother, mom is not going to work because she's with her child. Well, that's income that's no longer there if she was a working mom.
That's right. Okay?
And so life insurance basically would help in that situation, and that's providing income. And a lot of people don't understand, if you get the right insurance, the right life insurance, you sit down with a financial planner or advisor, and you look at the different types and products of life insurance, it can be like I said, it is a financial product, and it helps you in that area. It protects you from financial catastrophe, so to speak. Okay.
So Vickie, what about people who says it costs too much? Because you hear that a lot, I know.
Yep. Thing is that if it doesn't, it's never going to be too much. I'm sorry. It's like when it comes down to, you're protecting yourself and your family, you always have some money there to get that type of life, to get protection and to put and have security, knowing that you will have something to go to for your future. It's life insurance. This you're looking at your life. What's too expensive to protect your life? You can protect your phone, with insurance. You know,
And
okay,
your car,
your car, you put insurance on your car,
renter's
your phone,
insurance.
renter's insurance, all that kind of stuff, and you're not going to basically protect yourself and your family. You
Well,
know,
well,
it's just that doesn't make sense to me. I mean,
well
you can, but the thing is that you can find a policy that will protect you. Okay, it's like
did did you know that a child of I guess 3 to 6 years old for 100,000, just whole life policy, it could be $50 to $100 a month,
yeah,
and you can actually pay that off in 20 or 30 years, which comes to about $50 a month times 12, 630. That's only 18,000 for $100,000 policy. Now, who wouldn't, if anybody in any mindset or mathematical mindset could say, hey, 18,000 for 100,000, that's a no-brainer. But what people don't know is that 18,000 a whole life policy, even if they got an IUL, we won't go into that right now, but the interest steadily continues to grow on that policy. And they can borrow from that policy to put the child in college. If they want to buy a car or a decent down payment on a car, a decent down payment on a house. There's a lot of things they can do with that policy other than just death.
yeah,
You know, and that's what the problem. And yeah, I guess a lot of the problem is educating people about what life insurance is all about, because people have no problem insuring their car.
right.
I mean, they'll get liability, but they won't even get a term policy for themselves, which could be almost 10 to 20 or $30 a month. You know, and then change and convert it into a whole life policy a little later. So,
I
the
think
spirit.
I
Yeah, go
think
ahead.
you hit the nail on the head there, William. Is that people need to be educated. That's the bottom line. We need
I
to
agree.
we need to
I
educate.
agree. We don't know that. We don't
Yeah,
know what you just said. That is, life insurance is for when you die. That's what we know.
yeah, yeah.
So we
So
have to be educated.
you know, and overall, everyone, you know, there, like I was saying before, there is a certain sector of our world that basically is very educated on how life insurance can assist them in a lot of different ways. But then there's this other section of our world. I'm not going to just say our country, but our world that have no idea. Because there's circumstances put people in a mindset that it's not a priority, because that's another reason it's not a priority for them. It truly is like the last thing they're thinking about as far as as protecting themselves and getting some life insurance. But the thing is, like William says, it should be a priority, because we are not guaranteed that we're going to wake up the next day. We're not guaranteed that we're going to basically come out of certain things. I think COVID kind of opened the eyes of some people, around the world, that, oh man, this is, this is tragic. And what if it happens to me? What if it happens to mom? What if it happens to my kid or whatever? And so, we did have a kind of upswing where people were looking and getting coverage. So if nothing else, COVID basically provided that, a, a positive thing coming out of COVID. But overall, people still, especially now that they feel as though the crisis is almost over. I don't know, they're going to be swing back into their old cultures. Of it's not a priority. I'm too young. And things like that. Now, we're probably not going to finish. I'm looking at the time. We don't have a lot of time to continue this conversation. So we are going to do it next week for anyone who wants to basically chime in and ask questions about it. And we'll provide probably a little bit more education on the specific products that we're talking about, that you can use for, protecting yourself. Okay.
Okay.
But, the things that we want to touch on is that it should be it should be a priority. It should not be low on your priority list. You should get out there and, basically get protected. There are, like I said, there are different types of products, different type of life products. There's the type that are really just going to cover you to protect you if something does happen. But then there are other life products that are vehicles to basically provide you wealth and to provide you financial security, to be your bank when you need it, to be able to provide education to your children, college funds, things like that. And even if you're, these days, children are like, or kids are not, all that, moving into the college world or whatever, some of them, but if they are, if they do go, and even if you can't provide, 100% of their college education, you can provide a car to them. You can get them a car to go off to school, something like that. So, it is, the vehicles that we're talking about, are the permanent type of policies, such as the IUL or the Index Universal Life policy. That's the main ones that basically provides you that type of income, and wealth. And then it's a retirement product. Okay, now if the IRS can basically set rules about the IUL and classify it as a retirement plan, don't you think you should look at an IUL? And that's a life insurance policy.
You forgot to say it's tax free.
It's tax, yes, it's tax free. But it is a. I mean, the IRS is basically said that this is a tool that can be used for retirement. If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what can. Okay, because they have set it aside as a retirement plan. It is basically IRS code 7702. Okay.
Yeah, I like to interject. Marion, do you go out to dinner?
Yes.
How much do you spend, you think, for a dinner, just one dinner? You and another person or group, what's the average you spend for dinner?
Oh, lately it's been between $50 and $75.
Woo, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I've been so surprised. I went out for a Mexican dinner. Honestly, it's getting higher and higher. Really, all of a sudden, it's like a minimum of $50. And we just went out to our regular Mexican restaurant, had 2 margaritas and dinner, and it was $55.
So how many times a month do you think you go out to dinner? Once, twice, 3 times? Once?
Yeah.
Think how many times you go out to dinner?
Maybe.
Okay, all right, don't answer. The point I'm trying to make is between $50 to $100. If you can go out to dinner one time, spend that kind of money, you can budget for life insurance. That's how simple it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottle of wine I like costs about $49 a bottle.
Oh, William, okay.
I don't drink it all the time. I don't know. All right, don't go there. But the point I'm trying to make is if we prioritize how we spend our money or what we look at when we spend our money, you can get a decent life insurance policy for around that much. Now, if you want to do like the IULs, like Vickie's talking about, a retirement plan, like any other retirement plan, and an annuity, an IRA, a 401k, of course, you have to put a lot more money in it to get a larger return when you retire. Like anything, to retire, it takes time and money, and it takes more money, and even in a shorter period of time. But if you can afford to go out to dinner from $50 to $100, and just imagine if you went out for a family of 4, it's going to be a lot more that you can actually afford insurance, a life insurance policy. I just want to interject that real quick before we end it.
I feel that everybody can basically afford a life insurance policy, because it is, like I said before, it is your life. Okay. And the thing is that, the different types, depending on where you are in life, you can budget for what you're looking for. But if you don't do anything else but go out and get a term policy that protects you and your loved ones, then that's what you should get. And the younger you are, that the lower the cost is going to be. And that's why with young people, I know those in their 20s are not thinking about life insurance because they think, like I said, think they're too young. That's the time to actually get life insurance. That's the time to start building your wealth. Whether you get a term policy or whether you get a permanent policy, you get it when you're young, because now, you're healthier when you're young, because a insurance product is out there. The insurance companies are always looking at, how healthy you are, what type of risk are you. Remember, you got to apply for this. So if you are at a high risk. If you wait too long and all of a sudden you've incurred some type of illness, then you're no longer able to get a policy that basically will be affordable. So you want to do it when you're young. You want to do it before it gets, you get to the point where all of a sudden now you have diabetes, or you've had a stroke, or
High
something
blood
like
pressure.
your high blood pressure and things like that. Not saying that you can't get covered if you have those situations, because there are policies out there that you can get covered, but it's going to cost you more money. I know, Mayor, we did a series last year on being healthy. That's going to it's going to help you in the long run. By being healthy, you're not going to be a high risk. Okay, so you can still get covered. It's just going to cost you more. So the earlier you get covered, the earlier you sit down and say, okay, it's time for me to go get life insurance, cover myself, protect myself, the better. Okay, so we really want to hone in on the fact is that don't delay, don't put it off, don't procrastinate, get it done, and sit down with someone like myself, William, and get it done. Because yes, you can go out there on the internet and find something simple or whatever. However, you have no idea when you go out there, what the companies are there, what their ratings are and things like that. So you do want to sit down with a professional, as we are, for getting coverage. Okay. You wouldn't go to a online, well, some people do, but you wouldn't go to an online doctor or lawyer, if you had a serious case, or something to take care of. So you do want to sit down with a professional, and basically, see what your needs are. So, but like like I said, the biggest thing is don't delay. Make sure you get it. Now, I don't know. Let's see. We talked about certain things, as far as um, what it can be used for and why people are, the phobias behind it. We said we need to educate everyone on, exactly what life insurance is, what it can do, and why it's important. It's protection from financial loss. It basically can provide, child care, making sure that, there's something in place for, if your children get ill, whatever. But you can also use it to pay off debts. Okay, you know, if something should happen, you got a mortgage, and think about it. Most mortgage companies, they want you to have some type of insurance. Here's another reason that is important. If mortgage companies and things like that want you to have, and even when you have a car loan or whatever, they want their security secure. In other words, they want to make sure that their investment is protected. Okay, so
Yes.
that's why they're asking you to get insurance, on you.
They're
Uh,
not afraid to ask you to get insurance.
no, not at
As a
all.
matter of fact, that's a
You
requirement.
will.
That's a
It's a
requirement. You got to
it,
get insurance.
Hmm.
exactly.
And what bigger investment is yourself?
Exactly. So
That's the
they're
biggest
required.
investment.
Yeah, exactly. They're requiring you to get yourself insured. Then if they are, then you should put yourself on that same priority list. As far as being protected. So if something should happen, you know, your mortgage is paid off. Other debts are paid off, and everything like that. So that's what bottom line. Life insurance is financial protection. You know, it can be used to pay off estate taxes, and like we talked about, final expenses. Now we talked about the I'm healthy, I'm too young or whatever, I don't need it. Well, we know that's a misnomer, because that's not true. We know you might be healthy today, but you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You might wake up with asthma. You might wake up with COVID. You might wake up, whatever. So you just never know what can happen. So don't use that as an excuse not to get yourself covered and protected. We talked
Yeah.
about it's too expensive. It's not too expensive for you. For protecting yourself. You can always find a life insurance policy or insurance policy that you can get protected, that's affordable for you. And that's the other thing that William and I do as financial professionals is that we make sure we put you in a policy that you can afford. That we're not going to be. It doesn't make any sense to get something you can't afford because you're going to let it go. It's because again that mindset goes, oh, it's not a priority.
Right.
So you want to make sure you get a policy that you can afford. That's going to cover your basics and you can afford it. Okay.
Yes,
But
yes. And that's why it's important. If you're listening to us today or you're watching us, um, I want you to know that both of these fine people are willing to talk to you about your current situation. I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. It was a real pleasure to have William here with us. And it just, you should come back more often.
Oh, thank you.
It was really nice to have somebody else here in the show. And if you're watching us or listening to us, please remember we want you to share this information because those people that are in your life deserve to know the same information that you just heard. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back again next week. And what will we be talking about next week?
We're going to continue talking about life insurance, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth in the different types.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
okay, good. Educate us.
Yes, we will educate you.
Thank you, William, for
All
joining
right,
us
thank you
today.
for having me. Have a
Bye
great
for
day.
now.
All right.